My name is Isabel Santos. I am 28 years old, and I will never forget the day my family tried to take everything away from me, unaware that I had already secured my future. I was always the responsible daughter, while my younger sister, Carmen, 25, lived her life as an Instagram celebrity. I worked hard in the family business. Our father, Roberto Santos, had built an empire of boutique hotels from scratch, and I had been learning the business since I was 16. Isabel, you have to understand that this business requires sacrifices, my father told me as I canceled another outing with friends to review contracts. Carmen, meanwhile, spent family money on trips to Europe and designer bags. My mother, Maria, always defended Carmen. Your sister is young, let her enjoy herself. She'll mature. But Carmen never matured. At 25, she was still living at our parents' house, with no real job beyond her social media posts, while I worked 12-hour days running 3 of our most successful hotels. Everything changed 6 months ago when I met Lucas, our new financial advisor. He was brilliant, honest, and saw something troubling in our accounting books. Isabel, he told me one day, closing my office door, I've been reviewing the accounts for the last 5 years. Did you know your sister has spent over $2 million of company money? My world stopped. What? Lucas spread several documents across my desk. Trips, clothes, parties, all cataloged as marketing expenses, because she claims it's for the brand's social media image. That night, I confronted my father. His response left me frozen. I know, Isabel. I authorized those expenses. Why? Your sister has a talent for social media. Our hotels need that kind of modern exposure. $2 million in personal expenses. Seriously? My father removed his glasses and sighed. Look, you have your way of contributing to the business, and she has hers. That conversation opened my eyes. For years, I had been so focused on earning my father's approval that I hadn't seen reality. I would never have it. Lucas became my confidant. Over the next few months, we worked in secret, documenting every irregularity, every excessive expense, every questionable decision. He also helped me understand my rights as the majority shareholder of the company, a status my father had arranged years ago to avoid taxes. Never imagining I would learn to wield that power. You need to protect yourself, Lucas advised. Your family is using the company as their personal piggy bank. He also warned me about something else. My father was planning to transfer key properties. They're preparing documents to transfer your house to Carmen's name. My house, the one I bought with my own money. Technically, you bought it with your company salary. They're arguing it was a corporate gift and can be reassigned. That night, I couldn't sleep. The house I had purchased with years of hard work, where I had built my sanctuary away from my toxic family, could be taken away with a simple corporate maneuver. But Lucas and I had a plan. The decisive moment came on my 28th birthday. My family organized a grand celebration at our family home. Everyone was there. My parents, Carmen, uncles, cousins, business partners. Carmen stood up during the toast, holding her $500 champagne glass. "I have a special announcement," she said, her smile radiant as always. "Dad has given me the most incredible gift, Isabel's house." Silence fell over the room before applause erupted. My mother smiled proudly. My father avoided my gaze. "Isn't it wonderful?" Carmen continued. "Since Isabel is always at the office, she doesn't really need such a big house. I'll put it to better use." I stood up slowly, my heart pounding but my mind clear. "You're right, Carmen. I'm too busy at the office." I pulled a folder from my bag. "In fact, since we're making announcements, I have one of my own." I opened the folder as everyone watched expectantly. Carmen kept smiling, thinking this was just another corporate formality. As CEO and majority shareholder of Hotel Santos, I have some important announcements. My voice was firm and professional. First, effective immediately, all personal expenses must be approved by the board, not just the president. Carmen's smile faltered. My father shifted in his chair. Second, I've initiated a full audit of the last 5 years of corporate expenses. I looked directly at Carmen, including all social media marketing expenses. "Isabel," my father interrupted, his voice tense, "this is neither the time nor the place." "Isn't it? Didn't you just use my birthday party to announce you're giving my house to Carmen?" I turned to the guests. "A house I bought with my salary, earned through years of work." Lucas, who was among the guests, stood and distributed folders to the board members present. "You have evidence of misappropriation of corporate funds totaling over $2 million, I announced. "Personal expenses disguised as marketing costs, pleasure trips logged as business trips, personal purchases labeled as market research." Carmen paled. "That's ridiculous. Dad approved all those expenses. I'm the face of the brand. The face of the brand." I projected some of her Instagram posts onto the living room screen. "Isabel, how dare you humiliate your sister like this?" my mother snapped. "Humiliate her? Like you tried to humiliate me by taking my house on my birthday." My father tried to take control. "This is a family matter. I ask all non-family members to leave." "I'm afraid not," Lucas interrupted, now in his official role as financial advisor. "As this involves potential corporate fraud, the board members have the right and obligation to be present." The next few minutes were chaotic. Carmen cried, claiming it was all a misunderstanding. My mother shouted about family loyalty. My father tried to calm the board members, who reviewed the documents with growing concern. "There's more," I announced as the noise subsided. "As CEO and majority shareholder, I've made some executive decisions." I pulled out more documents. First, the transfer of my house to Carmen has been blocked. In fact, I filed a preemptive court order against any transfer of corporate properties without board approval. "You can't do this," my father shouted. "Actually, I can. I'm the majority shareholder, remember? You set that up yourself years ago to avoid taxes. It was just a legal technicality, he spat. I was supposed to maintain real control. His words echoed in the silent room. Several board members shook their heads, taking notes. Thank you for clarifying that, Dad, I said calmly. Anyone else want to admit to corporate manipulation? Carmen lunged at me, but Lucas stepped in. Careful, he warned. Attacking a corporate executive during an official meeting could have serious legal consequences. My sister backed off, her face contorted with anger. You're just jealous. You've always been jealous of me. Jealous? I laughed without humor. Of what? That you've never worked a day in your life. That you've squandered millions on parties while I built this empire. Enough. My father slammed the table. Isabel, if you continue, you'll destroy this family. I looked at him steadily. No, Dad. You destroyed this family when you decided hard work meant nothing. That responsibility was a joke. And that my dedication was worth less than Carmen's selfies. My father approached me, lowering his voice. We can fix this privately. We don't need the whole board. Now you want privacy. I raised my voice deliberately. After publicly humiliating me. No, Dad. This will be resolved here and now. I addressed the board. As CEO, I propose the following immediate measures. First, freeze all personal expense accounts. Second, initiate a comprehensive external audit. Third, restructure the executive board. You can't fire us, my mother shouted. I'm not firing you. I'm professionalizing the company I helped build. I turned to the board members. Who supports the motion? Several hands went up. My father seemed to have aged 10 years in the last hour. Isabel, Carmen pleaded, changing tactics. We're sisters. Family. How can you do this to us? Family. My voice broke for the first time. Where was family when I worked weekends while you partied? Where was family when I canceled 3 years of vacations to save the Barcelona hotel? Where was family when you decided to take my house? Lucas stepped forward with more documents. We also need to discuss the offshore accounts. My father collapsed into his chair. Stop, he whispered. Please stop. Why? Because now everyone knows the truth. Because your plan to use the company as your personal cash machine is over. My mother began to cry. We did it all for the family's good. No, I replied. You did it for convenience. Because it was easier to give Carmen everything she wanted than to teach her responsibility. Because it was easier to use company money than to earn things. The following days were intense. The audit revealed even more irregularities than we expected. Carmen had spent nearly $3 million, not $2 million. My parents had personal accounts funded by the company that I didn't even know about. The board unanimously supported my proposals. New financial controls were established. A new professional management team was hired. Carmen lost her role as a brand influencer. What am I supposed to do now? She screamed at me one day in my office. You've ruined my life. There's an entry-level position in the marketing department. I replied calmly. Starting salary, like any other employee. You could learn the business from the ground up, like I did. You're horrible. I hate you. No, Carmen. I'm the only one who actually cares about your future. My parents eventually accepted the changes, though it took time. My father, after months of resistance, finally admitted the company was running better with professional management. I built this from nothing, he told me one day, but you've made it better. Something that will last. My mother took longer to understand, but when she saw Carmen finally taking responsibility in her new job, yes, surprisingly, she accepted the position. She began to shift her perspective. Maybe we were too lenient with her, she admitted. Today, 2 years later, Hotel Santos is stronger than ever. Carmen has discovered she actually has a talent for marketing when she puts in the effort. My parents have learned to respect professional boundaries. And me, well, I still live in my house. More importantly, I run the company with the professionalism it always deserved. Sometimes, family love means setting firm boundaries and teaching tough lessons. As Lucas, now my husband, once told me, sometimes you have to shake the family tree to let the rotten apples fall, so new, stronger ones can grow.